Welcome back, beautiful souls. I'm glad to have you here. It's Nora from Gardening with Nora, and if you've ever ended up with a small springy garlic bulbs, you're not alone. I used to think garlic was a plant and forget it kind of crop until I started realizing the secret to big juicy bulbs is literally in how you feed them. So in this video, I'm going to share exactly how we fertilize the garlic naturally using homemade compost, liquid teas, and a monthly routine that's simple, organic, and budget friendly. So let's turn your cloves into juicy bulbs. And also just a reminder, this video is from Finland, where we used to just use the store-bought compost. I will definitely do a update video soon in the next couple of months once the garlic is ready. So bear in mind the footage is an old footage from Finland when we were trying to transplant the garlic shoots into the soil. So let's talk about why garlic needs fertilizer. It's basically because garlic is a long season feeder. So it takes anywhere between 6 to 8 months in order to fully mature. And while it starts off slow, it builds its bulbs in the last 6 to 8 weeks before harvest, believe it or not. And if it doesn't have the nutrients that it needs within that window, what happens here is you will get small, underdeveloped bulbs. So the key nutrients that garlic loves, it loves 3 key nutrients. Starting with number 1, it loves nitrogen in the early stages, and it needs it for leafy green growth. Next, it loves phosphorus in order to help with root development. And lastly, it adores potassium in the final stage, which is in order to help it with bulb formation. So if you miss the feeding window in the mid-season, there is no going back, unfortunately. You can't fatten the bulb once it's dried out. So you got to make sure that you have your fertilizer ready within that key time frame. So let's talk about the natural fertilizer routine that we follow. So at planting, what really we use to help boost the soil is a handful of aged compost. If you don't have that, you can use warm castings as an alternative, and you put that in each planting hole. Also optional, you can also add in a small scoop of blood and bone to that, powdered blood and bone, or pelletized chicken manure. In this case, we use pelletized chicken manure because that's what we had on hand. So this really gives them a nutrient-rich start with a slow release goodness. Next up, within 3 weeks after planting, you need a liquid nitrogen kick. So what I use is compost tea. And if I don't have compost tea, I use warm tea diluted on a ratio of 1 to 10. And then we apply it every 10 to 14 days for a consistent 6 weeks. And why do we use that? Because it fuels early leaf growth. And this is what's needed during the stage. And this is what is needed to build a strong base for bigger bulbs later on. Now, as an added tip here, you can go ahead and feed it in the morning or late afternoon. Never ever feed it when it's full sun, because that just doesn't work in this case. Also, the third thing that you could use mid-season, which is 2 to 3 months into planting the garlic, it needs phosphorus and potassium. So what we use in this stage is banana peel tea. If we don't have any banana peel tea at the time, we use a seaweed solution because this provides it with a source of potassium. Next up, we use wood ash that we sprinkle lightly for phosphorus and for potassium, and then we continue compost the tea, give it the compost tea every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to share with you the blend that I use. I use 1 liter of banana water, 1 liter of warm tea, and 2 liters of water, and then we pour that at the base of the plants. We always avoid the leaves, and now is when the bulbs will start forming below the ground within 2 to 3 months of planting it. So you need to make sure that you feed it right, or you will unfortunately get green tops and tiny bulbs, which no one wants to be there. So let's talk about the final stretch, the last month before harvesting, and what you need to do. So this is a really important critical stage, and you need to add 1 final low nitrogen, high potassium feed, and then you need to stop fertilizing and reduce the watering, because this will help the bulbs cure in soil. And if you overfeed too late, you will always result in moldy or soft bulbs. Another mistake I see many people doing, and I also did that mistake as well early on when we were planting garlic, is overwatering during during the last stage. You don't want to do that because that will always lead to failure. So why wait all these months and then wreck it right at the end? Let's talk about some optional boosters from the garden that you can use. So a DIY natural fertilizer is wonderful for garlic is fermented chicken manure tea, aged at least 3 weeks. If you're not into that, I totally understand. You can use crushed eggshells and banana peel powder. I love that. Super, easy to do, and it's versatile. So you could also use it for tomatoes. You can use it for cucumbers, for many other like vegetables as well at the same time. Another thing that I have found that is absolutely amazing for potassium is comfrey leaf tea. Now, I'm a herbalist, so we keep all these different herbs in our pantry. You can also check out my herbalist natural wellness channel, linked in the description box below. And one of the herbs that we keep as a staple is comfrey leaf. And occasionally we would do, whenever there's a need to up the potassium in the plants, I just make a deconcussion, a stronger tea from comfrey, and then dilute it with water and then feed it to the plants as a water during that potassium stage. So another thing that you could do, a hack, is you can save all your banana peels in the freezer. You can crush dry eggshells into the beds during the bulb swell as well. It's free, it's effective. You could also crush the eggshells after roasting them. Crush them with a food processor, just turn them into a powder, mix them with apple cider vinegar and in a jar, and then let them sit there for around 3 to 4 weeks. After that, strain, and you have this wonderful eggshell liquid mixture that you could use. Just dilute it with water, and then you could use that for the watering as well whenever there's that need for calcium. So with that being said, here are 3 mistakes that I made early on. Mistake number 1 is overwatering, and this is really bad because it dilutes the nutrients too fast. Mistake number 2 is skipping mid-season feed. Now, we're all human, we all forget, but this is really, really important when you're planting garlic specifically, because you don't want to skip the mid-season feed. You'll end up with green leaves and you'll end up with tiny bulbs. And last mistake is a total devastating mistake because it just destroys all your plant. It is using fresh manure. Now, don't judge me. This was really early on in our gardening journey, and we were using whatever we had on hand. We didn't do the research, and that was years ago. So we used fresh manure, and this burnt the roots. And we learned the hard way. So if you are planning on using manure, always age it first. If you're not into aging it, make sure to buy it already aged and dry from the plant store. They always have it on hand, and then all you need to do is just put on some gloves and then sprinkle it as well. And keep it away from the roots because it will burn the roots. So why do we continue to plant garlic every single year? It's because it has become a seasonal ritual in our home. As you can see here, my husband's in there doing the work. I'm recording. I'm trying to help out, bits and pieces here and there as well. And my children are also involved in the process. So from planting with the kids in autumn to cooking with the harvest in spring, it's actually one of the most satisfying crops that we grow here in the garden. And when it comes from your soil, it's a total different feeling. It's fed with your compost. It's grown with your care and with your hands. The taste is nothing like from the store. It's earthy, it's sweet, it's fragrant, it's actually alive, because that is real food, and that is what we all opt for when we get into gardening. So if you are growing garlic, don't forget to feed it right, because healthy leaves make for healthy bulbs. Let me know in the comments, have you ever started fertilizing your garlic? What has worked for you? Give this video a like if you learned anything new. Subscribe for more organic growing tips as we learn them along the way and apply them. And always stay tuned, because in the next video I'm going to talk about how to know when garlic is ready for harvest. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care and have a great day. All the best.